Hey, and welcome back to Explore with Emily. That's me. This time we'll be talking about Westminster Abbey. Now, to start off, Westminster Abbey is my favorite place in London for one very specific reason: Queen Elizabeth I. Don't get me wrong, the British Museum was tied for first, but somebody had to come in second. Even with things there like the Rosetta Stone or the Sutton Hoo burial hoard, which is my favorite burial hoard, by the way. Here's a pic of me geeking out in front of the helmet right before I started crying. Yep, if you haven't seen my other videos, I cry at history and archaeology. Deal with it. Anyway, even though the British Museum has things like the Rosetta Stone, the Sutton Hoo burial hoard, 100,000 mummies, okay, not actually 100,000, but really they have a lot, and I have mixed feelings about it. All sorts of, Roman sculptures and statues and whatever, and a lot of amazing Mesoamerican artifacts, which I also have mixed feelings about. Westminster Abbey won my heart because of Queen Elizabeth I. Why, you might ask? Well, I didn't know what to expect when I went to Westminster Abbey because I personally have never talked to anyone that's been there or heard anybody talking about what's in there, and you're not allowed to take pictures inside. I took about 3 pictures before I learned that you were not supposed to take them inside. So here they are. Anyway, when you walk in, it's rather breathtaking. I mean, there's statues adorning all the walls. I mean, the ceilings are incredible. The ceilings, just look up, you might get a little bit dizzy. The fact that coronations are done there. History felt alive in there. I mean, my skin pricked and my heart was racing. See, I believe that life is energy, and energy can never be destroyed, right? And because energy can never be destroyed, I believe you can feel the leftover energy, the lingering life forces left in a place sometimes. The older the place, the more faint this energy may be, or maybe stronger. Westminster Abbey is the oldest place I've ever been yet, and Westminster Abbey's energy is sparkling. Now, side note, if you do go, bring flat shoes. Put them in your bag, do something, even if you're going somewhere afterwards, because I wore fancy shoes because I was supposed to be going to tea after my tour at Westminster. Here they are. I was wrong. Don't wear shoes like that. Like I said, put them in your bag for later, but I mean, the whole Abbey is like cobblestone floors. Outside around the Abbey is like cobblestone. And afterwards, I went to tea, and then I walked to the Tube, and then I took the Tube all the way out to the outskirts of London to go to the Doctor Who store for my mom. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that the back of my feet were bleeding. They hurt so bad, I had to sit down in the store several times. I almost didn't make it back to my Airbnb because my feet hurt so bad. They looked like this. Now, when I went, I took a special extra tour of upstairs of some royal funeral effigies and royal jewels and stuff. Oh, effigy is a model of a person to act as them symbolically. Some of them are really lifelike, even though they're made out of wood. Some of them are kind of a little bit off-putting. Still cool, but so the stuff upstairs was really cool. But if I had known what was going to be downstairs, I probably would have started there because I walked around like the circumference of Westminster Abbey, which is where they have like royal tombs. Okay. Here it is. Why Westminster Abbey won first place for my favorite place in London. Are you ready? I walked by Queen Elizabeth. Not the living Queen Elizabeth II, long live the Queen. Queen Elizabeth I. Yeah, you heard me right. I walked by her. I stopped and looked at and could have touched her if I wanted to get arrested. Queen Elizabeth I's tomb. I mean, she's in a giant stone, tomb with like a marble effigy on top, which is really spectacular. But it was her. If I would have broken that open, she would have been inside. Now, I don't know what kind of state she'd be in. And actually, I hope she would be inside. I would hope it wasn't like some conspiracy where they say, oh, this is where she is. And then she's not there. There's nothing there. So, but yeah, I could have touched her if I wanted to get arrested and banned from Britain for the rest of my life. Here is a picture of a postcard I got at the gift shop because, like I said, you're not supposed to take pictures in there. And if you think you're going to get away with it, trust me, there are volunteers and stuff everywhere, like eyeing you, and they will find out if you take your phone out and are taking pictures. So here's a picture of the postcard of her tomb. This is the Virgin Queen. The queen who knew that in her time, if she were to marry, she would have to give up her power. I mean, look at Mary, Queen of Scots. No offense. This is the queen that united England as a Protestant nation. This is the queen that allowed a space for the arts to flourish. Shakespeare? You ever heard of him? And the queen that in 1588 defeated the Spanish Armada. She's my favorite queen. Sorry, Queen Elizabeth II, long live the queen. And not just because us redheads have to stick together. I could have stood there all day, but I mean, there's like people everywhere and there's like a line and you got to keep moving. The people. Someday, I will be important enough to get a private tour of Westminster Abbey. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up a chair right in front of Elizabeth. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to stare at her. I'm going to give her compliments. I'm going to talk to her. Sup, Queen Elizabeth? And I'm going to cry. Yep, I'm going to cry. And I'm not even ashamed about it. Not even a little bit. Oh, and if you're wondering, yes, I did cry when I walked by her. People were kind of like, but I don't care. If all you know about Queen Elizabeth is that she's the Virgin Queen or the Cate Blanchett movies, then I encourage you to learn about her because she is just, I have like one word right now, magnificent. She was a force. Okay, but the royal burials aren't the only cool thing to see at Westminster Abbey. For example, at Westminster Abbey, you can find England's oldest door. Here it is. Built in the 1050s for St. Edward the Confessor, this door is almost 1,000 years old. Also, the chapter house and its murals. Here's some pictures. They were painted around 1400 CE in the Gothic style, which makes them about 600 years old. Or the Peak's Chamber. Picture. Which is one of the oldest parts of Westminster and at one point served as a stronghold. Or if you just want to walk around and look at the stained glass. I mean, I'm not like a huge stained glass enthusiast or expert, but I can appreciate them. They're pretty amazing, if that's your thing. Anyway, if you're going to London, Westminster Abbey is a must-see. That's what I got to say. So, next time we'll be talking about San Juan, Puerto Rico. It'll be awesome. I loved Puerto Rico, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you don't miss a second. Oh, and if you do go to Westminster, say hi to Elizabeth for me.